सर थोड़ा
नमस्कार
प्लीज 7 मिनट बाद एक्सक्यूज मी नहीं है फिर
बड़े बड़े नेताओं को नमस्कार भक्ति।
नमस्कार।
प्लीज 7 पे नहीं
सर एक मिनट
सर प्लीज सामने से सामने सर प्लीज सामने एक बार थैंक यू है ना। हाँ दिख गया मुझे। हमारी हवाई उसके डिवाइस में घूम रही थी, मैंने यूँ ही घूमा दी, आपको हिल ही नहीं रही। अरे भाई हम फोटोग्राफर थोड़ा अंदर एंट्री करो। अंदर क्या अंदर उनको बुलाते हैं और उसका
आप छोटे हो गए तो
हम सामने मैडम सामने प्लीज स्ट्रेट
मिलेगा कवर नहीं मिलता। एक मेरे कैमरे से प्लीज ले लीजिए, मुझे फोटो पे आप लोग की ट्रस्ट नहीं है, कितना ट्राई
पे ट्रस्ट नहीं है मैडम। वाइड वाइड और वाइड तू तो हो जाए उन्हें बोल रहा आएगी यहीं गाड़ी सब पे थोड़ा साइड सब पे सामने साथ में यस सामने ओके
सर हैप्पी
नमस्कार सर। आगे जाके ले लो जगह कम है। थैंक यू।
अंदर चलो।
तुम जरा बोलो मत, तुम्हारा लाइव पे जा रहा है पीछे।
लाइव है
अंदर चलो
भैया मेरे पास आ गए।
क्या हाल है?
सर गाड़ी आ रही है आपको
आ जाइए आ जाइए।
फ्रेम खुद ना वो बनाए रखो लाइव।
अच्छा
हाँ क्या हाल? अरे सर
थैंक यू सर। यस प्लीज सामने से सामने तरफ। थैंक यू।
सर जी सामने साथ में, तो इस तरफ सामने। थैंक यू। हाँ क्या हो जी सर,
वेलकम, थैंक यू। क्या नाम? आपको बधाई बहुत बहुत।
ये खींच देंगे, उसके फोटो खींच बच्चे का। इनका दो ना, कैमरा क्यों नहीं देती है? कैमरा बच्चे को दो। वही है, बैठ जाओ बैठ जाओ बैठ जाओ बैठ जाओ बैठ जाओ, चलो। राइट को मुड़ो, सीधे वो वहीं से नीचे ढलान पे आ जाओ, फिर बाहर निकलोगे। सर हैप्पी इंडिपेंडेंस डे।
साइड से साइड से साइड
आने दीजिए आने दीजिए।
साइड से साइड से साइड से।
सर पीछे 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 पीछे।
आइए।
फोटो यहाँ फोटो इसके बाद 5-7 आइए आइए।
पीछे 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 सर सर खाली जगह नहीं, खाली आ जा भाई आ जा।
साथ आइए साथ आइए सर, साथ आइए साथ आइए सर।
हैप्पी इंडिपेंडेंस डे।
गुड मॉर्निंग कमिश्नर सर। इधर से अभी जी इधर से।
लॉ मिनिस्टर।
अरे अरे आशीष जी
आशीष भाई
हाँ सर
इधर आइए ना आप लोग।
सर सही है।
Hi Sanjay, good morning. Let me say hello to all the colleagues. Good morning. Happy Independence Day. Looking very nice. Hi Sanjeev, how are you? Hi Nasma.
सर आप यार सर आइए।
Sanjay.
बीच में क्यों घुसे? मैं देखा नहीं।
प्लीज रिक्वेस्ट।
वहाँ पर जाना है ना?
इस तरफ होगा। इधर होगा सर, इधर
इधर इधर इधर सर क्या?
लाइट चल रहा है ना, लाइट चल रहा है ना, लाइट चल रहा है।
चलो बैठ जाओ, आप उधर हो जाओ, साइड हो जाओ।
पूरे के साथ कर रहे हैं हम लोग। लाइट है ना, पीछे हो जा रहा हूँ, पीछे।
राइट, सावधान। मुख्य न्यायाधीश महोदय का सम्मान करेंगे। राष्ट्रीय सलाम सलामी छठ।
Black के लिए।
ध्यान रखना आप देखिए इधर तक मत आइए फोटोग्राफर
Please let it go. Everybody, please move. अरे जगह बनाओ, पीछे जाओ। हाँ इधर
एक मिनट सर 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 साइड साइड बिल्कुल क्लियर एक मिनट हरीश भाई कैमरा आ रहा है थोड़ा पीछे भाई मेरे में कैमरा उधर आएंगे Excuse me. Excuse me, sir.
एक ही चीज उनको अलग करती है, सर्व फ्री बना
फोटो क्लियर कर घंटे के साथ वेरी दिशा में जा रही है पूरा साइड हो जाइए
सर मेघवाल साहब
मेघवाल साहब आइएगा
सर खड़े साथ में होना है परंतु आपका अलग है आपका भी आप सर मेघवाल साहब
साइड दीजिए ना आएगा नहीं
अमल कर सर
फोन डाउन प्लीज फोन
पानी भी देना है जगह सर पानी देना है पानी
थोड़ा सा बस
पहले मिट्टी डालेंगे ना ये है सर, ये देना
It's just to 6 months. Yeah,
हाथ बुला दे।
फोन आउट फोन आउट सर का हाथ से जाता है
नहीं सर, अब थोड़ा सा तौलिया दे दिए उसमें, पेड़ पे रखे हैं, पेड़ पे तौलिया रखे।
आप इधर आप विवाद साहब आइए विवाद साहब पूरी आप कराइए आइए सर
बैठ हो मेरे साथ। चलो 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 चलो
चलिए 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 सर चलिए। अरे भैया रुक जाओ 2 मिनट, तुम्हारा भी काम है।
भाई थोड़ा, अरे भाई थोड़ा सा, अरे पेड़
थोड़ा थोड़ा हो ना भैया भैया भैया।
मेघवाल साहब को हेल्प की जरूरत तो नहीं है, किसान है। ये पुराने किसान है।
भैया कैमरा आ रहा, भैया कैमरा पीछे करो। चल चल इधर से निकल, साइड से इधर से निकल। पता नहीं जी, यहीं थे अभी तो। भैया भैया हाथ नीचे हाथ नीचे हाथ नीचे, कैमरे में आ रहा है।
आदिश सर सामने।
कैमरा कैमरा नीचे।
यार हम लोगों को तो कितना जो हो गया 50 कैमरे
हमारा बोलने भी नहीं है, तुम कितने का सुखा बाद में बढ़ेगा।
और हम
तुम्हारा कंटिन्यू रिकॉर्डिंग है ना, पूरा लेना वाइड, मैंने कट कर दिया। एक्सक्यूज मी सर,
Mr. Arjun Ram Meghwal, Honorable Union Minister of State for Law and Justice, Mr. R. Venkat Ramani, Learned Attorney General for India to the dais. I request Dr. Aajtak News President SCBA, Mr. Sukumar Pardoshi, Vice President SCBA, to kindly escort Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Mr. Arjun Ram Meghwal, Honorable Union Minister of State for Law and Justice, Mr. R. Venkatramani, and Attorney General for India, to the dais. May I request Ms. Prakriti to present the song Bande Mataram. जहाँ डाल डाल पर सोने की चिड़ियाँ करती है बसेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ भारत के माननीय मुख्य न्यायाधीश डॉक्टर D.Y. चंद्रचूड़ जी, भारत के कानून मंत्री माननीय श्री अर्जुन राम मेघवाल जी, भारत के विद्वान महान्यायवादी श्री R. वेंकटरमणी जी, अदर जजेज ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया, Mr. Tushar Mehta, London Solicitor General of India, London Law Officers, Mr. Manan Kumar Misra, Chairman Bar Council of India, Mr. Apur Sharma, Executive Chairman Bar Council of India, Mr. Manoj Misra, President Scora, Mr. Snehasis Mukherjee, Vice President Scora, Mr. Deobraj, Secretary Scora, Mr. P.H. Parikh, Mr. Rakesh Kumar Khanna, Former President SCBA, Ardhendu Mauli Kumar Prasad, Mr. Rahul Kaushik, Former Secretary SCBA, Senior Members and Members of the Bar, Mr. Atul Kurerkar, London Secretary General Supreme Court of India and other registrars. We welcome to all of you. Happy Independence Day. आज़ादी के इस पावन पर्व पर आप सभी का स्वागत है. May I request Mr. Vibhu Shankar Misra to present a sapling to Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Honorable the Chief Justice of India. May I request Mr. Amrendra Kumar Singh to present a sapling to Mr. Arjun Ram Meghwal, Honorable Union Minister of State for Law and Justice. May I request Mr. Kumar Gaurav to present a sapling to Mr. R. Venkatramani, London Attorney General for India. May I request Mr. Sasank Sekhar to present a sapling to Mr. Tushar Mehta, Learned Solicitor General of India. Now, may I request Mr. Kumar Parjoshi, Vice President of the CDA, to kindly give his welcome address.
गुड मॉर्निंग, नमस्कार। आज हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट एग्जीक्यूटिव कमेटी के ओर से आप सभी का स्वागत करते हैं इस पावन अवसर पर, जहां हम 76th इंडिपेंडेंस डे समारोह यहां हम मना रहे हैं। आज का ध्वजारोहण हमारा मोस्ट पॉपुलर चीफ जस्टिस डॉक्टर जी.वाई. चंद्रचूड़ जी ने किया और हम सब उससे लाभान्वित थे। आज के मुख्य अतिथि हमारे लोकप्रिय प्रधान न्यायाधीश डॉक्टर डी.वाई. चंद्रचूड़ जी हैं। मैं उनका तहे दिल से स्वागत करता हूं। आज के विशेष अतिथि अर्जुन राम मेघवाल जी, जो कि कानून और न्याय मंत्री हैं, मैं उनका सम्मानपूर्वक स्वागत करता हूं। माननीय जजेस सुप्रीम कोर्ट के अपना कीमती समय जाय करके यहाँ पधारे हैं। इस फंक्शन को गरिमा बढ़ाने के लिए मैं आप सबको स्वागत करता हूं। लर्नड अटॉर्नी जनरल मिस्टर आर वेंकटरमणी सर, वी वेलकम यू। Mr. Tushar Mehta, Solicitor General, we welcome you, sir, and we are grateful for your presence here. Parik Saab, so many senior advocates, Basant Saab, welcome you all my colleagues, members from the press. In fact, in large number they are attending in this sultry weather. I think this is the popularity of Justice Chandrachud and Mr. Meghwal that has attracted so much attention of the press. Secretary General and his officers of the registry, I welcome you all here, ladies and gentlemen. सर, आज उन पूर्वजों को याद करेंगे जिनके कुर्बानी के वजह से हम लोग इंडिपेंडेंट इंडिया में 76 साल में आनंद ले रहे हैं। सर, ये इंडिपेंडेंस डे के मौका में मैं कुछ एक्नॉलेज करना चाहता हूँ। Both to our generous Chief Justice and the Law Minister, I must say a few things. Sir, because of your vision, आपने कानून का एक्सेसिबिलिटी कोने कोने से सुप्रीम कोर्ट के लिए दे दिया है। वर्चुअल हियरिंग के माध्यम से किसी भी कोने से कोई यहाँ सुप्रीम कोर्ट में बहस कर सकता है और केस दायर कर सकता है। सर, इसी हिसाब से आपके विजन में जरूर ये भी होगा कि जो लोग कोने कोने से आ रहे हैं और उनका कोई भाषा का बैरियर है, लैंग्वेज बैरियर है, उनको भी आप टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से वो सुविधा दे दें कि वो अपने भाषा में अपना बात रखें। लॉ मिनिस्टर साहब, हम बहुत खुशी के साथ और गर्व के साथ कह रहे हैं कि आपका सरकार हमारा कानून व्यवस्था को इंडियनाइज करने में बहुत सारा प्रयास कर रहे हैं। सर, डॉक्टर डी.वाई. चंद्रचूड़ चीफ जस्टिस, despite his busy schedule, anytime we go without an appointment for anything, he understands the problems of the bar and gives a long-lasting solution. Sir, there are many problems which you have committed to us, and you will do it, we are sure, sir, for the continuous professional development of the lawyers, skill development, mediation training, and medical facilities for us, e-libraries for us. Sir, you have, and we know, sir, because of your busy schedule, it's going on in your mind, and you'll give it to us because you have never let us down. Sir, about that land for the lawyers' chambers, etc. You, sir, since 2017, many chief justices have made their efforts. But I am sure, sir, with your tact and capabilities, before you demit your office, you will hand it over to us, sir. That's our belief, not only our expectation, sir, that is our belief. मैं कानून मंत्री जी से ये निवेदन करना चाहता हूँ, आप एडवोकेट प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट और हमारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लिए कुछ ध्यान दें। हमारे यहाँ आपको पता है कि ये एक ऐसा प्रोफेशन है जिसमें एक पिन भी खरीदना होता है। कोई भी चीज़ जैसे प्रोफेशन के साथ आता है कि कुछ भी नौकरी आप करते हैं तो उसमें आपको कुछ ना कुछ सुविधा मिलता है, लेकिन यहाँ सब कुछ खरीदना पड़ता है। तो हमारे पास ना तो मेडिकल साधन है, ना कोई इंश्योरेंस है, ना कोई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है। तो हमारे कोई एक कोऑपरेटिव हाउसिंग के लिए भी हम डिपेंडेंट हैं सरकार से। हम हमारा मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज़ के लिए भी आपसे डिपेंडेंट हैं। मैं ये आग्रह करूँगा कि आप ये बात सरकार के सामने रखेंगे और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऐसे प्रदान करें। कोई देश, मैं ये आशा करता हूँ हम सब और जोर से काम करेंगे और देश के प्रगति में एक एक सहायक बनेंगे। जय हिंद।
May I request Mr. R. Venkat Ramani, Learned Attorney General for India, to kindly deliver his address.
This is only a microcosm here of the vast macrocosm of a country, gathering in the nooks and corners of a great nation to celebrate this independence. I remember when the Government of India Act 1935 was enacted, there was a famous Urdu writer, Sadat Hasan Manu. He wrote a small story called the Naya Kanun. And it is about a Tonga driver who was asked to celebrate the new constitution, 1935. And he went around shouting, "New constitution, Naya Kanun." The two English men who rode his tango, he asked for a high fare and they bet him blue. And he was surprised. Where is the Naya Kanun? And he was taken inside to the police. They went on inside the police station shouting all the while, Naya Kanun. And that was a story about 1935, Government of India. And when we adopted the Constitution of India, that story was a forgotten story. We have begun to write new stories, the new scripts of independence. Therefore, every year we congregate like this in associations, groups, communities. I think we do something wonderful. We are not only trying to remember those forgotten multitude of people who have shed their lives, bled and sacrificed their own lives for a freedom, and whose contours probably they could not labor at that point of time. So we are indeed doing a great job by assembling here every year, year after year, to renew our pledge to freedom, independence, and to all the multitude of people who hope to have their dreams realized to the march of the Constitution. When law and justice in happy union meet like this today, the progeny is bound to be genetically sound. And you're looking for such more and more of progenies and children who by a happy union of law and justice will enable the march of our Constitution more comfortable, more easy, and within the reach of the last woman and man of our country. The great poet Subramanya Bharati, one of the patriotic writers, he said, even one man goes without food, the whole world deserves to be destroyed. And he also said, in every corner of a street, I wish we have a school where people can feel comfortable about knowing and the access to knowledge. And I think that what the Constitution would like to make it possible. Therefore, I would repeat this, that every happy union between law and justice will continue to produce happy and great progeny of our country. I wouldn't like to take much of a time. The humidity is only external, not internal. That's why we're all here. I'd just like to read a small piece of poetry which I wrote during the block days when we were all trying to be comfortable within our homes. But let me read it, and then I would like to convey probably the way I'd like to convey my ideas. O nation brave and beautiful, in thoughts profound and resolves sound, in deeds quick and actions swift, in the chorus of our unity, let us ride. O nation brave and blissful, reel, reel, till your hearts feel, dump, dump, all the garbages of your minds in petty cages locked. Did not the Lord say, in Gita say, someone who does my work, those who lay down their works in me, exalting me, with malice towards none, comes to me. O nation brave and bountiful, let each of us in giant resolve be a Noah of modern times, be arcs of great fiber and space. O nation brave and benevolent, what greater temples can you build for Lord Ram of reverence deep than the sharing of your lofty cares for the weak and the infirm, the distressed and the disabled, the poor and the distraught. Let compassion light all corners of your mind and heart. O nation brave and buoyant, in solitude you learn, in isolation you learn, in chains drawn all motions you learn, all lives are one. And learn to play new patterns of life. O nation brave, with all thoughts and compassion drawn, let us march with all retreats beaten. I'm sure that, as I said, I would like to repeat it once again. As enlightenment dawns on these very important thoughts, and I think India lives if diversity flourishes. India lives if is able to become a Vishwa Guru. And I think that's the compact we are going to draw today. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. May I request Dr. Adis Agrawala, President SCBA, to kindly deliver his address.
Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India, and Honorable Judges of Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Arjun Ram Meghwal, Union Minister of Law and Justice and MOS of Parliamentary Affairs and Culture, learned Mr. R. Venkataramanamni, Attorney General of India, learned Mr. Tushar Mehta, Solicitor General for India, media persons, brothers and sisters. I am not mentioning other important names as already our Vice President and Honorary Secretary has mentioned their name. I am happy and proud that we all have assembled in this high temple of justice to celebrate the nation's 77th Independence Day. Needless to say that our Chief Justice is the highest priest of justice. There could be no better person than our Lordship to be the apostle of peace and justice. As he has hit a quarter century as a judge, he was appointed judge of the Bombay High Court in 1998. Similarly, he has hit half a century as Chief Justice of India. He is the 50th jurist to hold the CJI responsibility. The CJI's crown is one of thorns, but our Lordship is wearing it like a string of roses, handling with ease and expertise. Our Union Minister of Law and Justice, Mr. Arjun Ram Meghwal ji, is here to celebrate Independence Day with us. I am sure that as the Union Law Minister, He will uphold the principles of justice and equality under the able leadership of Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi. He will be shaping and implementing legal reforms that will lead to a more effective and efficient legal system. I am happy that the Modi government has brought Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita Bill 2023, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita Bill 2023 and Bharatiya Sakshya Bill 2023 to revamp the criminal justice delivery system of India. While the government has bitten the bullet and taken a strong step forward to modernize our criminal justice system, it is the right time for our higher judiciary, especially the Supreme Court of India and the High Courts, to usher in changes in dispensation of justice. We all know our Honorable Chief Justice of India, with the full support of his companion judges, strives hard to find a solution to the mountain-like accumulation of pending cases. Why he indeed has full capacity to achieve the goal. A bit of technical support will go a long way in reaching the nil pendency rate in his tenure itself. My Lord, I am fully confident that you will ensure that the cases at the Honorable Supreme Court and Honorable High Courts are disposed of within 2 months. Once that milestone is reached, our judiciary will be #1 in the world, and foreign investors will throng this nation to invest and enrich it. My Lord, you have made the Supreme Court a paper-free court. All honorable judges have also become computer-friendly, although some of our advocates still face difficulty in using the laptops in court proceedings. I take this opportunity to pledge full cooperation of the bar with the executive and the judiciary in their determination to provide speedy justice in India. My Lords, the Honorable Chief Justice of India and other honorable judges of Supreme Court of India, I must commend and express gratitude of the bar for having accepted most of our requests during my tenure. However, my Lords, our request for additional land for chambers and cubicles is still pending. I am fully aware that you will require concurrence of the Government of India. I have requested for an appointment with the Honorable Prime Minister of India. I am certain that both Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Chief Justice will provide adequate and respectable space to every regular practicing member of the Supreme Court Bar Association. I am fully aware that the Honorable Prime Minister is always ready to accept our all reasonable demands of lawyers. I want that the Government of India grant us at least 1,000 cubicles which shall be workstations for all regular practicing members of HCBA who could not get a chamber allotted for themselves. The Supreme Court Bar Association also wants that the Honorable Prime Minister to provide at least 500 new chambers to regular practicing members of the Supreme Court Bar Association. I also request the Honorable Prime Minister that the Government of India provides annual grant to the Supreme Court Bar Association for meeting financial and medical emergencies of the regular practicing members of SCBA and their families. My Lords, in order to usher in sense of responsibility, I request introduction of video recording of all court proceedings. The recording should be preserved and enclosed with the judicial file of the case concerned. Judges, lawyers and litigants, who are all part of the judicial system, will then take the court proceedings more seriously. My Lords, on this auspicious occasion of Independence Day of the nation, I request you to have a relook at the existing norms of appointing Chief Justices of High Courts from other High Courts. The system of appointing the Chief Justice of the High Court from another state should be put an end. First of all, the most of the Chief Justices coming from other states have short tenures, making it impossible for them to make any meaningful contribution or changes in the status quo before attaining superannuation. They are handicapped by the process to make just and proper administrative decisions, as they are usually unaware of the local factors. They totally rely on the local judges of the particular High Court for crucial decisions. Also, my lords, I am of the firm opinion that retired judges should not be appointed in any tribunal or commission. Only sitting judges should be appointed to such post after sanctioned strength of judge post is increased suitably. It is my earnest expectation that the retirement age of the Supreme Court judges be increased from the existing 65 to 68. Similarly, the retirement age of High Court judges should go up from 60 to 65. In district judiciary, it should be increased from 60 to 62. My lords, I once again take this opportunity to assure Honorable Chief Justice of India and Honorable Union Law Minister that the bar will continue to be vibrant and ready to support all citizens' pro-citizen initiatives of the judiciary and the executive. My heartiest Independence Day greeting to all members of the legal fraternity on this solemn occasion. Jai Bharat.
थैंक यू सर। हर कर्म अपना करेंगे ऐ वतन तेरे लिए, दिल दिया है जहाँ भी देंगे ऐ वतन तेरे लिए। ऑनरेबल यूनियन मिनिस्टर मेघवाल सर, you are the law maker, but we are also keepers of the law. Though we have a vital role in the society, but our life is uncertain due to several factors. That's why we need the Advocates Protection Act. सर मेघवाल सर, हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि आज के इस आज़ादी के पावन पर्व के भाषण में आपके द्वारा हमारी लीगल फ्रेटर्निटी के लिए कुछ सौगात होगी। With this, may I request Mr. Arjun Ram Meghwal, Honorable Union Minister of State for Law and Justice, to kindly deliver his address.
The President and members of Executive Committee of the Supreme Court Bar Association द्वारा आयोजित ये कार्यक्रम और ये स्वतंत्रता दिवस जो हमारा 76वां है, उसके अवसर पर ये कार्यक्रम आयोजित किया गया है। इस अवसर पर उपस्थित भारत के मुख्य न्यायाधीश आदरणीय डी.वाई. चंद्रचूड़ साहब और हमारे वेंकट रमणी जी जो अटॉर्नी जनरल ऑफ इंडिया हैं, हमारे आदिश सिंह अग्रवाल जो प्रेसिडेंट है SCBA के, हमारे वाइस प्रेसिडेंट SCBA के सुकुमार जी और हमारे रोहित पांडे जी। सामने भी बहुत सीनियर जजेस बैठे हैं, कौल साहब से लेकर के बहुत चेहरे जानता हूँ, तुषार मेहता जी भी बैठे हैं। सबको मैं नमस्कार करता हुआ मेरी बात शुरू करता हूँ, क्योंकि कुछ विषय आज यहाँ इस प्रोग्राम में आए हैं। मुझे लगता है कि इस प्रोग्राम की शुरुआत हुई जहाँ डाल डाल पर सोने की चिड़िया करती है बसेरा, वो भारत देश है। तो पांडे जी के लिए जोरदार ताली तो बजा ही सकते हो। ये इन्होंने कही है और मैं भाषण की समाप्ति पे गा करके सुनाऊंगा एक लाइन, ठीक है? आपको मंजूर है क्या? मंजूर है तो मैं थोड़ा बहुत गाता हूं कभी कभी। आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव, हम 75 साल कैसे चले, कहां तक पहुंचे, हमें मंजिल मिली या नहीं मिली, इसका विश्लेषण करने का अवसर है। लेकिन हम 2047 तक कहां पहुंचेंगे, ये आज लाल किले की प्राचीर से प्रधानमंत्री जी ने मंजिल तय कर दी है। हम विकसित भारत तक पहुंचे तो हमें रोड मैप बनाना है, सबको साथ चलना है इस भारत को विकसित भारत बनाने की प्रक्रिया में। और इसी के अवसर पर आज का ये कार्यक्रम जो हुआ है उसमें आयोजकों को बधाई देता हूं। एक विषय आया यहाँ, अटॉर्नी जनरल इंडिया साहब ने पेश किया, वो कविता थी सही। आपके किसी के समझ में आई क्या? नहीं, मैंने इनको कहा आप थोड़ा भाषा चेंज करके, कोई तमिल जानता तो तमिल में, कोई मलयालम जानता तो उसमें, मेरे को आप हिंदी में दीजिए। तो इन्होंने हाँ करी है, इनके लिए भी ताली बजा दो। लेकिन एक मैं सोच रहा हूं कि जो कविता पढ़ी उसमें शायद भाव ये था कि व्हाट इज द नेशन, स्पिरिट यही थी क्या, नेशन क्या है, हम राष्ट्र किसको कहते हैं। तो बड़ा मुश्किल होता है इसको समझना। लेकिन मैं चूंकि अध्ययनशील आदमी रहता हूं तो पढ़ता रहता हूं, तो मैंने कई बार पढ़ा, कई बार जाना, कई इंग्रेडिएंट होते हैं राष्ट्र के। लेकिन बहुत से लोगों ने कहा 5 अगर ये इंग्रेडिएंट मौजूद हैं तो वो राष्ट्र कहलाने के लायक है। और जिसका जिक्र ये हमारे अटॉर्नी जनरल साहब इंडिया कर रहे थे, क्या एक भूभाग, देयर मस्ट बी सर्टेन एरिया, ज्योग्राफिकल एरिया, वो नहीं हो तो राष्ट्र नहीं कहला सकता। दूर दूर हो सकता है, बीच में समुद्र हो सकता है, पहाड़ हो सकते हैं, लेकिन देयर मस्ट बी ए ज्योग्राफिकल एरिया, ये उसका एक इंग्रेडिएंट है। फिर है सॉवरेनिटी, संप्रभुता उसमें है या नहीं, वो निर्णय लेने में सक्षम है या नहीं, कोई और देश तो निर्णय नहीं ले रहा है, इसलिए संप्रभुता। फिर उसका झंडा है या नहीं, फ्लैग, ये उसकी बहुत सुंदर परिभाषा किसी ने दी है, थोड़े भाव इन्होंने अपनी कविता में लिए हैं। फिर मुद्रा, करेंसी है या नहीं, अगर हम किसी और की करेंसी यूज कर रहे हैं तो हम राष्ट्र कहलाने के लायक नहीं। और फिर हमारी भाषा, जिसको प्रमोट आजकल कर रहे हैं हमारे मुख्य न्यायाधीश डी.वाई. चंद्रचूड़ साहब की भाषा भी एक महत्वपूर्ण, क्या बोल ही नहीं रहे हो क्या, हाँ इंग्रेडिएंट है। लैंग्वेज भी एक इंग्रेडिएंट है। ये आगे भी किसी ने कहा 10 होते हैं, किसी ने कहा 11 होते हैं। लेकिन मैं जब वेस्टर्न फिलोसफर को, रस्किन को या लॉक को पढ़ रहा था या बेंथम को पढ़ रहा था, तो उनमें अधिकतर यही आते हैं, भूभाग होना चाहिए, संप्रभुता होनी चाहिए, झंडा होना चाहिए, मुद्रा होनी चाहिए और भाषा होनी चाहिए, तभी वो राष्ट्र कहलाने के लायक होता है। इसलिए बहुत बहुत बधाई आपकी कविता के लिए, बहुत सुंदर कविता आपने पढ़ी, उसके मुझे 2 शब्द कहने का आपने अवसर भी दे दिया। एक विषय में रूल ऑफ लॉ का जो कंसेप्ट आया, मुझे जहां तक मुझे जानकारी हो सकता है मैं गलत हूं या सही हूं, मैग्ना कार्टा का शायद सेक्शन 35 या शायद 37 5 मैग्ना कार्टा का जो सेक्शन 35 था, उसमें इसका उल्लेख कि आने वाले समय में, ये था 1215 और बहुत आंदोलन के बाद मैग्ना कार्टा पे हस्ताक्षर हुए थे, तो उसमें ये लिखा गया कि आने वाले समय में डेमोक्रेटिक सेटअप की स्थापना की थी मैग्ना कार्टा। आने वाले समय में मतलब वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड की बात करते हैं तो, वैसे तो हमारे यहाँ इंडिया में तो डेमोक्रेसी बहुत पहले से है। हमारे तो यहाँ भगवान बुद्ध ने ये कहा कि उस समय भी सभाएं होती थी, उस समय भी निर्णय लिए जाते थे, उस समय भी वाद विवाद होता था, उसका जिक्र है पूरा। संत रविदास जी ने भी जिक्र किया, बसवेश्वर भगवान ने साउथ में जिक्र किया है। हम तो मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी का विषय है, लेकिन जो वेस्टर्न फिलोसफर बोलते हैं वो ये बोलते हैं कि रूल ऑफ लॉ ओरिजिनेट हुआ मैग्ना कार्टा से, सेक्शन 35, और उसमें वो कहते हैं कि आगे से रूल ऑफ लॉ होगा, रूल ऑफ मैन नहीं होगा, रूल ऑफ मैन। देयर वाज ए कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बिटवीन रूल ऑफ लॉ वर्सेस रूल ऑफ मैन। अब राजा होता था, उसने कोई निर्णय दे दिया, उसका बैकबोन क्या है, नैतिकता है या नहीं है, जस्टिस है या नहीं है, वो कोई नहीं देखता। राजा ने कह दिया, भाई हो गया। उन्होंने कहा नहीं भाई ये नहीं होगा, रूल ऑफ लॉ होगा। तो कौन बनाएगा? तो इसलिए ये कोडिफिकेशन, संहिताएं, हमारे यहाँ तो बहुत संहिता, हमारे यहाँ ज्योतिष वाले भी जब मिलके बैठते थे, बोला क्या बनाया है, बोला भरगू संहिता। तो हमारे यहाँ तो संहिता का जिक्र था, इसलिए आपने सही कहा कि हमारे यहाँ जो अभी थे वो सुधार है। मैं इस अवसर पर 2-3 विषय आए हैं। ई लाइब्रेरी का विषय आया है, लॉयर चैम्बर का विषय आया है, और एडवोकेट प्रोटेक्शन, हाँ लैंड वो जिक्र किया, अभी एडवोकेट प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट का विषय आया। लेकिन अभी जिक्र हमने किया है, कोई एक विषय आपके कोई अड़ा हुआ है, तो अड़े हुए विषय को निकाल देंगे और आपको कितना भूभाग चाहिए उस पर चर्चा करेंगे। वो अभी चर्चा हुई है, सबके सामने ओपन बोलने वाला विषय नहीं है, क्योंकि कई मंत्रालयों से 2-3 मंत्रालयों से कोऑर्डिनेशन करना पड़ता है। लेकिन आपका विषय मुझे ठीक लगता है, लॉयर चैम्बर वाला विषय, क्योंकि मैं पिछली बार काम किया था, चले गए उनके फंक्शन में। मैंने कहा था कि हमारे कई एडवोकेट हैं, तो पूछते हो कहाँ बैठते हैं, वो प्रोसेस कंसल्टेशन में आया हुआ है, उसमें भी आप चिंता नहीं करें। बाकी ई कोड, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का प्रयोग, एडीआर का सिस्टम स्ट्रॉन्ग करना, हमारे चीफ जस्टिस साहब बहुत तेजी से लगे हुए हैं। अब मैं रोहित पांडे जी वाला, क्योंकि मेरा समय समाप्त हो रहा है, तो रोहित पांडे जी वाला कहा था, जहाँ डाल सोने की चिड़िया बसेरा, वो भारत से एक ठीक है। जहाँ डाल डाल पर सोने की चिड़िया करती है बसेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा। जहाँ डाल डाल सोने की चिड़िया करती है बसेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा। भारत माता की
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मेघवाल साहब। जहां सत्य, अहिंसा और धर्म का पग पग लगता डेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा, वो भारत देश है मेरा। चंद्रचूड़ सर, वी आर फॉर्चुनेट टू हैव यू as a Chief Justice of India. You are always concerned about the members of the bar and their concerns. Your every speech contains a positive message and the announcement for the bar. We hope that in today's speech as well, you will be announcing some relief for the betterment of the bar as well as for the country. With this, now may I request Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, to kindly deliver his address.
My very distinguished brother and sister judges, Sri Arjun Ram, Union Minister for Law and Justice, Mr. R. Venkatramani, the Attorney General for India, Mr. Vishal Mehta, the Regional Solicitor General, Dr. Chandravala, President of the CBA, Mr. Sukumar Patkar, Vice President of the CBA, Mr. Rohit Pandey, Secretary of the CBA, Office Bearer of the CBA, Mr. Manoj Mishra, President, Skora, all his office bearers, senior advocates who I dare say have mentored so many of us as young lawyers,
members of the bar, officers of the registry, and ladies and gentlemen. As we gather here today to celebrate our 76th Independence Day, I wish all my fellow Indians and every member of our family of lawyers and judges and the staff a happy Independence Day on this momentous occasion. 15th August 1947, the day when our collective struggle for freedom stood vindicated and our national soul found its utterance. After 76 years, our tricolour flutters in the heady winds of liberty and equality. There have been times when the wind has stood still and there have been storms on the horizon. But the flag hearkens us back to the collective glories of the past and summons the will to continue them in the present. It beckons us to allow the constitutional ideals and values in our lives to flourish. It serves as a symbol of our collective heritage and guides us towards our future aspirations. I can't tell you what a great honor it is for me to stand before you as the Chief Justice of this great court. I remember the days when I would be coming here as a young junior to hear the speeches by the Chief Justice, the judges, eminent lawyers, the Attorney General included. And now to be in this transformative role where I have to address you makes my heart flutter. Our independence marked our transition from imperialism to an independent nation based on the ideals of republicanism and democracy. Our founding leaders set the national priorities and visualized the institutional apparatus to bring out a social, political and economic change. To enable this change, our constitution institutionalizes a model of governance with Parliament, the executive and the judiciary at the helm. However, other institutions such as the family, the media, schools and universities, our bureaucracy, political parties and voluntary organizations also have an important role in bringing about a fundamental change in the structure of our society. Why does this annual event, which is held by the SCBA, of such great prominence and significance in our lives? This truly is the national bar. SCBA is not a bar for Delhi. All of you have come here from different parts of the country in search of a better life, but in dedication to the cause of the nation. And I realize particularly when we have your members who have joined us on the bench, of the great wisdom and learning which you and practice in your bar gives to your members, and we realize that when they sit with us on the bench of the Supreme Court. But equally it is important, I think, for us to recognize the fact that the Supreme Court bar, as a leading bar of the country, stands for the protection of the rule of law. Without you, the lawyers, and without your fearlessness and without your independence, we as judges would be really ciphers in the sands of time. When I get even an innocuous request from a member of the bar, sometimes wholly misconceived, for taking up a matter immediately on the same day, I yet hear it very carefully and assign a bench at the earliest opportunity. Because irrespective of an outcome of the case, I believe the real strength of our system is granting access to justice to our citizens. That sense of confidence of the individual, that an arbitrary arrest, a threatened demolition, may be a pension which is attached unlawfully, must find a solace voice in the judges of the Supreme Court. Our freedom struggle offered a constitutional space for the marginalized, the downtrodden, to raise their voice against the structures and influences of a hegemonic social structure. It enjoined the institutions of governance to proactively respond to the sufferings of the people to do justice. If we glance at the last 76 years, we realize that each institution has contributed to the strengthening of our nation's soul. And it is important that we recognize that all the institutions of the nation, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, are associated with the common task of nation building. This momentous day should serve as an occasion to recalibrate our collective goals and institutional aspirations. Our Constitution envisages an important role for the judiciary to ensure that the institutions of governance function within defined constitutional limits. Moreover, the courts provide a safe, democratic space for individuals to seek protections of their lives and liberties. The Supreme Court particularly has been the vanguard of institutional governance by enhancing access to justice and promoting constitutional values. But as all of us judges know, a judge or a judgment is as good as a lawyer who appears before the court. So in the work which we do, we find enhancement in your traditions, in the ideals of the bar, in the independence of the bar. The past 76 years suggest that the history of the Indian judiciary is the history of the daily life struggles of Indian people. If our history teaches us anything, it is this, that no matter is big or small for the courts. It is in the routinely small matters that issues of grave constitutional and jurisprudential importance emerge. Resolution of every legal grievance is important. In attending to such grievances, the courts are only performing their plain constitutional duty. As I look to the future, I believe the greatest challenge before the Indian judiciary is to eliminate the barriers to accessing justice. We have to enhance access to justice procedurally by eliminating the constraints which prevent citizens from approaching courts, and substantively by building confidence in the court's ability to dispense justice. And we have a roadmap in place to make sure that the future Indian judiciary is inclusive and accessible to the last person in the line. The law minister was speaking to me just the other day, and he said that we celebrate in 2023 100 years after Dr. Ambedkar first stepped foot in the fertile soil of our court premises. He suggested to me, why don't we now have an event to mark the evolution of what Dr. Ambedkar was then 100 years ago, and what his successors today, the young lawyers, the young professionals, are in our society. To make our courts accessible and inclusive, we need to overhaul our court infrastructure on a priority basis. Our emphasis on modernizing the judicial infrastructure to meet the challenges of the future is key to this mission. In this regard, I must share with you what I have already shared from across the judicial platform, that we plan to expand the Supreme Court by constructing a new building to accommodate 27 additional courts, 4 registrar courtrooms, but most importantly, adequate facilities for lawyers and litigants. This expansion of the Supreme Court is planned in 2 phases. In the first phase, the museum and the annexee building will be demolished to construct a new building, providing for 15 courtrooms. The SCBA library for SCORA, offices for the President, Vice President and Secretary of SCBA and SCORA, the SCBA and SCORA executive meeting rooms, canteen for lawyers and litigants, women's bar room, and other requisite facilities for lawyers and litigants. They are vital stakeholders. As you know, over the last several months that I have been in this office, I do not follow a top-down approach. I first consulted my own colleagues. The members of the building committee dedicated their evening hours to finalizing the plans which were prepared by the PWD tentatively. Justice Kaul joined us, though he is not a member of the committee. I'm not a member of the committee, but both of us joined the committee because it's our mission. We have unveiled the plans to the lawyers represented by SCBA and SCORA, and we have now submitted the proposal to the Government of India, to the Department of Justice. A detailed DPR has been drawn up, including budgeting. Detailed plans have been drawn up, and that is now with the Department of Justice, and I'm absolutely sure that it will receive best attention from the Law Minister and the Department of Justice. In the next phase, some of the portion of the existing court complex will be demolished for the construction of the second part of the new building to accommodate 12 courtrooms, registrars' courts, a lounge for SCBA and a lounge for SCORA. The new building will reflect the constitutional aspirations, beliefs and priorities of the Indian people, in addition to providing a space which facilitates access to justice. They say that sunshine is the best disinfectant. I say technology is the best tool at our disposal to eliminate the inefficiency and opacity surrounding the judicial process. We have to tap into the full potential of technology to overcome the procedural barriers to justice. In pursuance of this, we are implementing Phase 3 of the e-courts project. Phase 3 of the e-courts project, which has received the budgetary sanction of the Government of India to the extent of 7,000 crores, seeks to revolutionize the working of courts in India by interlinking of all courts across the country, setting up the infrastructure of paperless courts, digitization of court records, and setting up advanced e-Seva Kendras in all court complexes. The reason why e-Seva Kendras are crucial is because we in the judiciary are conscious of the fact that every lawyer does not have access to internet services or even to a laptop or a computer. So we will not leave even the last person behind in our mission to incorporate technology. Our aim is to create a judicial system that is more accessible, cost-effective and affordable for every individual who seeks justice. We are already striving to make the court premises and court services disabled-friendly. For instance, we have operationalized screen-readable website and case files to remove the barriers faced by the blind community in accessing court services. We have now opened our judicial processes to innovation, to transform the manner in which citizens access judicial services. Since I took over as the Chief Justice of India, the Supreme Court has developed and deployed numerous IT projects, such as the online portal for right to information, e-SCR, online appearance portal for advocates, iJuris, which maps the entire judicial infrastructure across the country, and neutral citations. The reason for the e-SCR was very simple. Young lawyers do not have the resources to afford the cost of private software. And we thought that we must have this service as a free service which the Supreme Court provides for lawyers across the country. From e-SCR, we are now moving to a digital SCR, so that every case citation will be hyperlinked in the use of the e-SCR. I must also share with you that the Honorable Prime Minister today, in the course of his independent speech at the Red Fort, mentioned about the efforts of the Supreme Court to translate the judgments of the Supreme Court in Indian languages. I would like to further elaborate on that and tell you that up to now, 9,423 judgments of the Supreme Court have been translated in regional languages. 8,977 in Hindi. And we have covered so far Assamese, Bengali, Garo, Gujarati, Kannada, Khasi, Malayalam, Marathi, Nepali, Odia, Punjabi, Tamil, Telugu and Urdu. And our effort is that all the 35,000 judgments of the Supreme Court from the birth of the Supreme Court should be available to our citizens in every single language. But apart from providing access to citizens, this will also facilitate the use of regional languages in our courts. Because what use is it to say that you can argue in a regional language if the judgments are all not in the regional language? So this is a very important part of our mission. As you know, recently we have cured the evil and the ill of long lines every morning for obtaining passes in the physical form by launching our new portal called Suswagatam. Su means Supreme Court and Swagatam, of course, welcome to the Supreme Court. I visited the facilitation center and I told all the young lawyers who were standing there who didn't have proximity passes that from tomorrow this is disbanded. Go and obtain your passes online. We have installed defibrillators across the Supreme Court so that if there be an unfortunate eventuality where a lawyer requires immediate cardiac resuscitation, that defibrillator is available. We have trained our staff, we have trained the lawyers themselves in the use of defibrillators. Other initiatives of the Supreme Court, such as live streaming of court proceedings and live transcription of court proceedings, will contribute towards transparency of our legal processes. I believe that the legal community as a whole has a responsibility to ensure the continued relevance of the Indian judicial system in the lives of people. After independence, we inherited the colonial legal traditions which were opaque and impersonal. But our courts have ensured that the law exudes human interest and responds positively to the plight of every individual in our society, regardless of their social and economic factors. The functionality of courts is determined by how effectively they can answer the call of constitutional duty. I must, before I end, refer to a couple of things. One is the fact that it has been brought to my notice that verification of cases is taking time. I must tell you that I am working very, very closely every single day with the members of the staff to ensure that the verification is reduced to the minimal time required. I've also spoken, for instance, to IIT Madras recently when I happened to visit Chennai to find out whether we can use artificial intelligence to replace much of the human intervention in the pre-hearing proceedings of the court to ensure that from the date of filing to the hearing, the time is curtailed to the bare minimum. But let me give you a few figures because nothing speaks like data. In March, the total filing was 4,527 cases. 22,282 cases were listed. 4,086 cases were disposed of. The filing in April was 4,716, disposals 4,700. May 4,986, disposals 3,984, naturally because the court was on vacation and we didn't pressurize the lawyers if they were not available to argue their cases. But now look at June, look at July, the last month after the vacation. 5,044 cases were filed in the Supreme Court. 6,362 cases have been disposed of by the Supreme Court in the last month. So between March and June, over 19,000 cases have been disposed of. This would not have been possible without the tremendous effort which has been put in by each one of my colleagues. And I do know that none of the colleagues ever complains if I pass on a supplementary list of 5 matters to them, though I am trying to reduce that also to the minimum. But there was another problem which we faced. Presently, the listing system which we have put into place, the listing systems is that all matters which are verified by Saturday, Monday and Tuesday will be listed on the next Monday. Matters which are verified on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday are listed on the next Friday. I thought that we must try and curtail even this lapse of time. So I am working with the registry and I am proposing that all matters which are verified on Friday, Saturday and Monday should be listed by the next Friday, and all matters which are verified by Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday should be listed by the next Monday. So we'll be curtailing the delay by another 3 or 4 days. But this is again work in progress. I can assure you that every day, every letter, every complaint, including a complaint which is sent to a social media website instead of being addressed to me, is dealt with by me. But I will also request lawyers that if you have a grievance, don't run outside the court. You have the head of the family who is sitting here to attend to your grievances. Our aim for the future is to ensure that our judicial systems are capable of managing the expectations of the Indian people. Legitimacy of our institutions can be secured only when the courts establish themselves as robust, independent institutions, impervious to the identity of the litigant before us, but cognizant of the same time of their context. In this regard, the judges and lawyers should conduct themselves in a manner which will inspire confidence about the independence and the integrity of our legal process. Recently, the Supreme Court released the sensitization model for the judiciary, and we are tomorrow releasing the handbook on combating gender stereotypes in judicial decision making. These efforts are aimed to ensure that we look inwards, question our biases, and insulate judicial institutions from embodying and entrenching those biases. On the request of the President for the lawyers' chambers, please rest assured that that is uppermost in my mind. Things which I can do on my own, I'm capable of doing with the cooperation of my colleagues. No Chief Justice can do it without the cooperation of the colleagues. But there are some things which require the engagement of the government, so I will use my good offices to do so. And I'm sure that we'll be able to find a solution in the near future. For the past 76 years, the courts have served as a prominent site of democratic participation. For the future, we have to recognize and eliminate the existing barriers to accessing courts, and in the process ensure that courts continue to serve as an effective and affordable democratic space. On the occasion of Independence Day, I thought I must emphasize our role as judges and lawyers in fostering, nurturing, and facilitating democracy. Last, it's not the icing on the cake, but I want to tell you that a proposal for providing 600 parking spaces for lawyers is also under process. I've got plans which have been prepared by the NDMC, and I can tell you that please rest assured that that also is going to be a mission and progress very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chanchur sir. On the day of independence, your words were liberating. Your presence in the institution always gives us a sense of freedom. May I request Mr. Minesh Dubey, Joint Secretary SCBA, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rohit. I wish to thank Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chanchur, Chief Justice of India, and Honorable Judges of Supreme Court of India for gracing this occasion. We are extremely grateful to Sri Arjun Ram Meghwal, Honorable Minister of Law and Justice, for joining us on this occasion. I wish to thank Sri R. Venkatramani, Learned Attorney General for India, Sri Tushar Mehta, Solicitor General of India, Learned Law Officers, Sri Atul M. Kurekar, Learned Secretary General, and other registrars of the Supreme Court. I wish to thank Mr. P.H. Parekh, former President SCBA, Mr. Rahul Kaushik, former Secretary SCBA, Sri R. Bashant, Sri S. Nagamuthu, and Dr. K.S. Chauhan, Senior Advocate. I wish to thank Sri Manoj Mishra, President, Sri Shneshish Mukherjee, Vice President, and other office bearers of SCORA. I wish to thank President, Secretaries, and office bearers of different bar associations and other distinguished guests, members of the bar, and electronic press and electronic media persons for gracing this occasion. I also wish to thank SCBA staff and registry staff for their cooperation for making this function success. I request to all the distinguished guests to join us for high tea. Thank you. Jai Hind.
I request the duty committee of SCBA for good photographs.
एक
तू यहीं पे रहियो राहुल तू छोटी टीम के साथ
हाँ हाँ दे तो लिया यार शानदार फोटो आ रहा है उठा लीजिएगा
area for all the judges and the dignitaries and everybody.
भाई साइड हो ना थोड़ा भाई साहब आना आना
थोड़ा